Hello my stinky little friends and welcome back to another video. We got back from our trip to Georgia a couple days ago and overall it was a great time. We went to the Atlanta Aquarium, we went to the Botanical Garden, and we also went to a Braves game. And I also had the best ramen of my entire life. It was the Kitsune Udon from Yakitori Jinbei in Marietta, Georgia. And I don't know what they do to their tofu. It was the single best tofu I've ever had in my entire life. It was so good. We actually ended up eating there twice in our trip, which is kind of crazy because we were only there for I think like 3 dinner times. So 2 of the 3 dinner times that we were there, we ended up eating at this sushi restaurant. Oh my god. I miss her already. The best ramen I've ever eaten in my entire life. It was so good. I will say that it was not the easiest trip for me. In the past couple years when we've gone on trips, it's usually been to places where we can bring the animals with us, and we also haven't owned a house since going on any trips. And so the combination of leaving all of the animals behind and also worrying about things going wrong in the house while we were gone did cause a lot of anxiety. And then that added on to the fact that I was out in public doing things which I'm not always the greatest with, going to crowded places and just in a strange different environment. I did struggle a lot with my anxiety while we were gone. And it was definitely really tough being away from all of the animals. Luckily, our pet sitter, who is also our friend, did an incredible job. She was always updating me on them and sending me photos of what they were up to. And so I'm overwhelmingly grateful to her for helping me with that. Being so anxious last week, I can definitely feel the effects of it this week. I feel very tired and I feel very drained. My anxiety has also definitely been higher than normal this week as well. But it's cold this week. It's cold and it's rainy outside, and that is helping. That is absolutely helping. I said before I left, but I really want to spend this week getting ready for fall. I know for a lot of people that fall started in August, but I did not want to decorate for fall until we were back from this trip because the trip itself was to Georgia, so it's in a warmer climate, and it also felt like very summery, the activities that we were doing. So I didn't want to decorate and get ready for fall and then go on like a summer trip. So now that I'm back from that trip, I'm ready. I'm ready to start fall. I'm ready to decorate. I'm ready to drink all the fall drinks, bake all the fall goods. So my plan for today is to bring up my fall decor from downstairs. It's currently in the basement, and then take a little peek at what I have. I know I don't have as much fall decor as I do like holiday time decor. This may be blasphemous for me to say, but I just don't think that fall decor is as cute as Christmas decor. I don't know why, it just doesn't hit the same for me. So it's much harder for me to find fall decor that I really genuinely like and want to purchase. But I do have a box of it and I'm gonna bring that up, take a peek, and then we're gonna go out and do a little bit of decor shopping just to see what's out there. You never know. I like taking a peek, taking a look-see. And of course, while we decorate, we're going to watch the best fall movie, which is Practical Magic. I think that Practical Magic and Over the Garden Wall are my 2 absolute favorite autumn movies, and I stand by that. Those are my 2 favorites. I know Over the Garden Wall is a TV show, but each episode is what, like 20 minutes? So that's basically a movie. You can watch it all in one go. Okay, I'm back from shopping. I really didn't pick up that much stuff because I already have plenty of decor. I just needed to pick up like a couple specific things, and also I was really only looking for a new pillow and maybe a full blanket for the bed. I only got one of those things and a couple extras. So let's go through them. This is the pillow that I found for the bed. I think it's a bit more fall than the boat pillow that I have on the bed already. And I also like that it's quite plain so that I can use it throughout the rest of the year as well, not just for fall. The next purchase isn't actually fall themed at all, but I needed a new bath mat for the downstairs bathroom. And this one was really cute. And then I did in fact pick up these guys. Because look at them. Look at them. They are so stinking cute. Last but not least, this new Snoopy mug. I think the fall mugs are actually the fall decor that I have the most of. I don't meet many fall mugs that I don't like. Hey guys, good morning. Let's talk about the books that I plan on reading this week, and also the book that I finished last week. So the book that I finished last week was The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley. I have some thoughts about this book. Some of them are positive, most of them are not. This book was another traditional adaptation of a fanfiction, a Hermione fanfiction. The fanfiction title was Draco Malfoy and the Horrifying Ordeal of Being in Love, which I read that one and I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend it. But let's talk about the adaptation. I thought that I had an issue with the prior adaptations' world building. This one, there was none. There was no world building. You are just thrown into this world, and terms and the names of things are just thrown at you with absolutely no explanation. You kind of just have to guess from context what they mean. I read this book on Kindle, borrowed from my library, and so I did not realize until the very end of the book that there was kind of like a glossary there with all of the different like pronunciations and a little bit of information about the orders that are in the book. I don't ever think that a glossary for those kind of things should be the world building for the entire book. You should not have to just like read a glossary and that's all of the world building that's done. The world building was my main problem with this book. My second problem was the two main characters are so unlikable. I could not find a single redeeming factor for either character in the first like 70% of the book. The male main character is just straight up a murderer who enjoys murdering and loves bloodshed and is just truly just a horrendous, terrible person with no redeeming qualities. And then the female main character, I really dislike talking bad about female characters. It goes against everything in me to talk badly about a female main character, but she is just stubborn and arrogant and just so completely unlikable. We are given nothing about her personality other than the fact that she is uptight and arrogant and stubborn. I think if we were given more of like an insight into her mind and what's going on, like actual emotions, I think she might be easier to like, but we're just not. And then everything that we see about his mind is just not redeeming at all. And then the third thing that I didn't like about this book is that it brought it around in the end. And that about pissed me off. Because how dare you make me dislike these characters and this setting and the lack of world building, and then somehow bring it around so that I like the book in the end, that's gonna make me mad. I truly think the only reason why I like this book is because of the banter between the two characters, and the pacing of the book is really good. And then the cliffhanger that it ends on. This might be a little bit of a spoiler. So usually a cliffhanger is like a kidnapping or something really dramatic and scary, and you're just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to these characters? Both of these characters live in a constant state of something perilous happening to them, especially the male main character. He's constantly murdering and kidnapping and stuff like that. So that would be normal for him if that was a cliffhanger at the end of the book. That would be like, oh yeah, he can handle this. But the cliffhanger that we're given is like him realizing that he has feelings for the female main character, which is world ending for him as someone who is just a truly, truly terrible person who has claimed that he has no heart throughout the entire book and has just done like god awful deeds the entire time. So for him to be like, oh no, I'm falling for this person, that is much more of a dramatic cliffhanger for the character than a kidnapping or anything like that would have been. That's gonna make me really mad because there was no world building. This could have been such a good book, but it just made me angry for the first 70% of it. So I don't really know what to make of this book. I did like it in the end. I was just mad that I liked it. That's all I have to say about that one. Okay, moving on to the books that I plan on reading this week. For my physical book, I have Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. This is a book of the month copy. It's my first book of the month. I simply did the membership because they were doing the free hat promo and I really, really wanted the free hat. And then this book was only $16, so bargain. Also, I love the hat. It fits great. I'll show you guys the hat. I know you get it. I know you understand. It's so cute. From the blurb, what I can gather is we follow the main character, Cleo, who from the outside perspective, her life is absolutely perfect. She has a picture perfect life as a influencer and a stylist, but she grew up in a haunted house and she has some very dark secrets in her past. Growing up, her mother claimed that the house was possessed by a demon, and after her mother's passing, the house belongs to Cleo and her sisters. Cleo's sisters have no interest in the house. It has too much trauma for them. But Cleo decides that this would be a great opportunity for some house flipping content, and so she undertakes the project of flipping their haunted house that they grew up in. And it is during this house flipping, content creating process that Cleo discovers some extremely dark history and secrets about the house, and the house and its history become more and more sinister. I'm excited to read this one. I think it's a great start for the spooky fall reading. It's only like 300 something pages and the writing itself is quite chunky, so I think I'll be able to get through this quite fast. The Kindle book that I'm currently reading is The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door by H.G. Parry. This book is a mythical, magical tale about secret scholarships and fairy curses. Fairy curses. It is unfortunate how close those two words are to each other. I'm about 10% through this book and I'm hooked. It's so good so far. It's set during the time frame of World War I and after it. We are introduced to this idea that magic exists in conjunction to the real world. The main character, Clover, lives on a farm with her family in England, and her older brother is a soldier in the war. In one of the last battles during World War I, he is hit by a fairy curse, and his life is saved by a man who belongs to one of the families. The families are like old money, close-knit bunch who keep the secret of magic and the magical world to themselves, and they try to minimize how much contact magic has with regular civilians. So Clover's brother is still alive, but he is very much cursed by fairy magic. And so Clover decides that she is going to learn magic in order to help her brother. So she devotes her life to learning magic and ends up getting a scholarship to this secret magical school that is run and mostly attended by the families. And that is the point that I have gotten to in the book so far. I absolutely love H.G. Parry and I love the way they write. The Magician's Daughter is still one of the books that I think about the most, and I read it over a year ago at this point. Usually I can't remember books that I read over a year ago, but I can still very vividly remember that book and its plot and the characters. So I'm going into this book already knowing that I love H.G. Parry's writing, and then already we have this rich, old money, gothic academia setting with so much history and in a time frame of real world that I'm very interested in also. I'm loving that the magic in this world seems very nefarious and that the fairies themselves are introduced as just like evil beings. I'm just very, very excited to see what happens in this book and where it goes. So yeah, those are my books for the week. Right now I do have another watercolor date planned with my mum. We missed last week because I was away, so I'm very excited to get back into watercoloring because I missed it. For dinner tonight, I'm making a roasted root vegetable and dumpling soup from this recipe book, which I have not shut up about since I got it. I have been telling everyone who will listen to me about this recipe book. It's all soup. All of the base recipes are vegetarian, and you have the option to add meat if you want to. There are just so many good recipes in here. We tried the tomato soup, the roasted tomato soup the other day, and it was delicious. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out as well. guys, good morning. My mental health has been all over the place this week, and I woke up this morning just exhausted. I don't know what's going on this week. Everything just feels so heavy. My OCD has been running rampant this entire week. It was so bad earlier this week that Ryan had to take the day off because firstly, I just wasn't in a good spot at all. I was not doing good. And then as soon as he left the house to go to work, my brain was telling me that something bad was going to happen to him. And most of the time I can get like the upper hand on my OCD, and I can, if I say the thoughts out loud, they usually just sound ridiculous and then they seem more manageable. But for some reason that day I was just 100% convinced and nothing could tell me otherwise. So I called him and I said, you need to come back in because something bad's gonna happen to you and I just can't, I'm a mess. And so he took the day off to take care of me and just be here. But this whole week has just been very up and down, and I think that's taken a toll on like my physical health too and my energy levels, so I'm just gonna listen to it. So I think for today it would be very beneficial for me to take the day away from social media and avoid any short form content and just spend the day reading. I started Play Nice yesterday and I'm about 60 pages in, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's a fun read, entertaining so far. So I think I'm going to keep reading this today. And then I thought we could also make the first simmer pot of the season. I moved to the bed because all of the animals wanted to cuddle with me today and there simply just wasn't enough room on the sofa for everyone. So I moved in here where there's real estate for everyone to cuddle with me. I'm about 100 pages into the book and it's definitely spooky, which it's about a haunted house, so that was kind of obvious. So the book follows our main character, Cleo, who grew up believing that her mother was an abusive alcoholic, who was also paranoid and believed that their house was possessed by a demon. After her mother's sudden death, the house is passed on to Cleo and her two sisters. The sisters don't want anything to do with the house, so Cleo takes it on and starts this renovation project. As I'm reading more and learning more about this story, it's becoming very, very clear that something happened with Cleo and this house that she can't remember and nobody will tell her about. She has lapses in her memory, she can't remember things that happened, and everyone's very cagey with talking about anything that went on. Their mum actually wrote a book about her time in the house and what happened. Their father made them promise that none of the girls would read the book because it has a lot to do with them and their childhood, and he thought that it would re-traumatize them, I guess. When Cleo goes to renovate the house, she finds a copy of the book with her mother's annotations in it. And we're reading these different chapters of the book along with Cleo. I think that the book side of things and having her mother's point of view as she goes along is a very unique way of writing and is also very entertaining to read. I'm definitely excited to figure out what the heck happened in this house. I'm definitely a big scaredy cat when it comes to spooky things, but so far I've been okay with this. This isn't bad. It might also be because I'm reading it during the day. Yeah, this really hasn't been that spooky so far. It's bedtime, but I'm going to do a little bit more reading before I go to sleep. this is how much I have left. I'm about 190 pages in, and things are starting to get crazy. Hey guys, good morning. Before I end this vlog, I would like to just talk about the book a little bit. I did finish reading it this morning and I have a couple thoughts. I'm honestly not completely sure how I feel about it. I did read it quite fast and it was definitely entertaining. I think way more than like a spooky demon story, this was a story about a very, very dysfunctional family and like the years and years of trauma and lies between them, and how the death of their mother really just is a catalyst for all of the grief and everything between all of them. The ending of the book was extremely abrupt. We got little to no closure about either the dysfunctional family storyline or the haunted house storyline. The romance that was included in the book felt to me, it was very lackluster, and I honestly feel like they could have done without having it in the book at all. I think the only reason that the romance was in the book is to show growth from the main character, but I think that that could have been done in different ways other than the romance, because the romance itself was just very uninteresting. So overall, I think I feel very indifferent, but I will say that it's gotten me in the mood to read some more spooky books, so that's a positive. But anyway, I'm going to end this vlog here. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me this week, and I'll see you again soon with another video.